Welcome to the GOAT Show, the show where we celebrate and debate all things great. My name is ZiLLY, aka Reverie. I'm joined by my co-hosts Fresh and Deezy on this fine Friday live stream where, you know what, reality might not be what you think it should be.
You know,
what are you drinking?
Beautiful Friday, where we say that you should watch our episode about Black Mirror on your Black Mirror, please.
Indeed. Deezy asked what I have.
It looked like a teardrop.
It's like a coconut.
It's a polar bear.
It's a polar bear coconut?
What the fuck is it? Cocobear.
I'm gonna promote these guys. Cocobear. Listen, I saw this at Whole Foods. It's got, look at this packaging. Before we get into this Black Mirror, this is kind of Black Mirror shit, though. Like, look at that. It looks like something on Black Mirror, like a fake brand. You know, they would have all those fake brands. So yeah, it's like raw coconut, Cocobear, raw coconut, water.
There was two of them in there.
There were two. I had one yesterday.
How much did that cost?
I don't recall exactly how
Too
much it
much.
cost. Probably.
No, I want to know.
It should have been. I don't remember. I don't remember how much I spent.
They literally.
I don't think about things like that, guys.
The funny thing about packaging coconuts is like they already have their own packaging, right? It's like bananas.
Right. Well, here's the crazy thing. This
avocados.
This thing's a product of Thailand, so they actually ship these Thai coconuts out here. I don't know how they preserve it, but anyway. Listen, it's Friday.
So wait.
Fun.
Are you supposed to? You're supposed to drink it, then crack it open and eat it?
I don't know if you have to crack it open and eat it or whatever.
Well, I mean,
yeah, it says dig in with a spoon, add to a smoothie or recipe, or freeze for later.
Oh shit! Well, I don't know how to cut this motherfucker. This thing's fucking.
You crack it, bro. It says you smack it with a
rolling pin.
Yeah. Pull the shell open and dig in.
Pull a fucking Indian mom. All right. Well, anyway, it's delicious. So, Cocobear, if you're watching, I don't know if you are, but if you're watching, holla at your boys. And Backwoods, we ain't forgot about you. What the fuck are you doing? We told you we sent the first blunt into space and no response from the last episode. Golly. Tough crowd.
That's fine.
Backwoods hates us, bro.
They'll come around. They'll come around when we get when we get one of their.
When I get the loose leaf sponsorship, they're gonna.
That's what I'm saying, bro. We should just start sending emails to all the competition, dude.
Bro, listen.
What else?
A lot of cough syrup. This is cookies, cinnamon milk. Bro, man, loose leaf coming up.
Fuck.
I don't know, man.
Yeah,
I'll be honest with you, bro. It's gonna take a lot for me to switch from Backwoods to loose leaves. I really enjoy the smoke. There's no other cigar than a Woods, bro.
The best part is no one would ever know. So I could just say I'm smoking loose leaf, but I'm actually smoking Backwoods.
Oh man. I think you're muted, Fresh.
Do you really think no one would know?
When it's rolled up. I see. Yeah,
look at the type of tobacco, man. It's not the same even type of leaf. I could see this from miles away.
I think what we'll do is every episode I'll clip this and we'll put it on their stories until Backwoods finally does something. I don't know what they're gonna do. I did want to show you guys something cool before we get into Black Mirror, which this is kind of Black Mirror shit. So when I went, for anybody who doesn't know, I've been on a move and I'm starting to get settled here in my new spot. And as part of the move, I have old comic books and all that kind of shit. So I got two graphic novels here, which I was perusing through. The first is a first edition Arkham Asylum Batman comic book.
Yo, that's fucking dope.
The art
is pretty cool.
I believe the art was done by what's his name, Dave McKean, who did a lot of Sandman cover artwork, but the artwork is unbelievable.
Yeah, that's tight.
Oh, wow.
I forgot it's all painted, the whole book. So it's a little hard to see here, but if you go online, you can see. But yeah, like his stuff is so rare. He did it back in the 80s, I think. Yeah, this is all like by hand. It's not AI generator.
No AI.
No AI. So just reminding you guys, because we're about to get in the Black Mirror, what real shit looks like. And then, of course, classic Watchmen.
Oh, that's a really dope comic.
Dave Gibbons. I've been using Dave Gibbons a lot for our thumbnails. Don't tell me. I'll throw it in AI, in the style of Dave Gibbons. But
yeah, it's fun.
It has that famous. I see it. Where is it? Dang it. Yeah, right. I think it's this. Dang it.
Shout out Ferocity. Shout out Stash. Appreciate you.
Shout out, fellas. Now I'm trying to find it. It's that Dr. Manhattan fucking image.
I mean, I got some Black Mirror to show you too. There's not pretty pictures, but it ties into the. Oh, look at that, bro. It ties into what we were talking about with Dave Smith, though. I should have brought this up. The experts speak. It's the definitive compendium of authoritative misinformation. Because all the times the experts got it wrong.
Damn.
Let me see it.
Yeah, put it up again. Who wrote it? Christopher Surf and Victor Navasky.
Authoritative misinformation.
Because it's funny, right? Because, the experts, they never get it wrong. But anyways.
Right.
Yep.
Until they do.
And
then what? They don't
Jordan
get discredited.
Peterson gaslights you to death.
Yeah.
Jordan Peterson throws it all away to become a Batman villain with a split suit. Calls you a fucking sociopath. Just because you're noticing a few things here and there.
The great noticing.
Which brings us to, we are living in a Black Mirror world. And, we're big fans of the show, Black Mirror. So season 7 came out, I think, about a week ago or something like that. And we all decided to watch it together, and we're going to talk about it. That's going to be the theme of today's stream. It's kind of a little bit of a slow week. So we thought we'd get into some cool art shit for all you art people out there. It can't always be politics. It can't always be sports. It can't always be.
So before we dive into each episode and all that, just an overall experience, how did you feel about the season?
My personal feeling is I think there were some really great episodes and there were not so great episodes, but I felt like it raised a lot of good questions. But compared to past seasons, it wasn't as mind-blowing as I think previous seasons, but I enjoyed it. What about you, Deezy?
I thought it was good, and I think that they're trying to get as close to something that seems like it could be reality as possible, right? Like they're sci-fi, but they wanted to seem tangible in some way.
It's like a new age Twilight Zone. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like something that could get under your skin, freak you out, creep you out, might be real, might not.
Yeah, I mean, that's one thing I will say about this season is that it went back to technology, because I think last season was more about, it wasn't so focused on technology as it was like kind of just like storytelling. I don't know. It was a little bit weird last season. It wasn't quite they're trying to get away from the whole tech thing. But no, I mean, that's what I agree with you, Fresh. Like what I always like about Black Mirror is it's kind of an amplification of whatever is going on technologically, or whatever the possibilities are. Like the one I remember a lot from the past was the robot dog one.
That one really stuck with a lot of people, man, because of the Boston Dynamic robots and stuff like that. Like,
right,
is very plausible. Like, all you have to do is add a weapon to it, and they already exist.
It exists. Yeah, it's not even not plausible that Black Mirror episode has come true. They have militarized robot dogs that they could mount guns on. They could put arms to go disarm bombs.
Right.
They could do anything, and they could run up crazy terrain. They're super smart. They can you can control them with like gestures and stuff. It's crazy.
Yeah. I mean that I remember like that episode. The other one I remember a lot of those episodes I remember. The one with the bees. I don't know if you remember that. The same deal, I guess. I think they're using the pollinate, but instead they were like attacking people. That was freaky. So Anyway, yeah, I mean, that's always kind of been my perception of Black Mirror, and I feel like this season they did it a couple of times, but there are a couple episodes I think that just raised interesting questions, but weren't necessarily like, I don't know, mind blowing to me. But that's kind of my feeling. But
yeah, a couple of those episodes could have been emails for sure.
What do you think, Deezy? Overall, Deezy, you enjoyed it, or what do you think?
Yeah, it was good. I think that they take a lot of time to write their scripts. They really think about the story that they're telling, and whether or not you like all of the episodes, they're thought out so that, like, the thing that I do love about it is it's hard to guess what's going to happen. With almost every other show, almost every movie, I can I can see the predictive programming in the movie that's like giving you hints and clues to build up to something and then figure out the movie before it ends. You know what I mean? Like, my wife hates me for it. We'll be watching something together. I'm like, that's the killer. And it's like 15 minutes into the movie, I'm like, that's the person that they're looking for, or like, that's it. And he's right there the whole time. Or
that's
so
ADHD, brother. That is, no, you can laugh, but it really is that's ADHD, bro. It's pattern recognition on a superpower level. But I agree with you, because, like, not to get too much into it, but like in episode 2, I assumed the whole time I knew what was up, and it's clear she's the issue. But when you find out what is going on, it's like, nah, that, like, I didn't predict that in the slightest. Yeah,
I agree with you guys. Like, I'm always, whenever I'm watching, I'm like, where is this going? Where is this going? Where is this going? And the one episode I didn't like the most, which we'll get into, but I feel like that was where I was kind of like, I don't know, it didn't get anywhere, so it kind of like annoyed me. But anyway, would you guys recommend Black Mirror this season to everyone? Do you think everybody should watch it?
Yeah, but I think everyone should watch every season up to this point too, because they kind of all build up. They build the general theme on each other, even though they're totally unrelated stories, all apart. Like, even from season 1 till now, they all kind of have a sense, so you can really understand what the show is about. If you just started in the latest season, that's what's good about it, is you could just come into the show or to the episode, any episode, any season, and each one is its own story. So it's not like you missed out necessarily on, like, if you try to jump into season 5 or season 3 of Game of Thrones or something, like, what the fuck is going on? Right. But
yeah, like, you'll get more if you watch it from beginning to end. You'll get more, but you can still get enough if you just watch random episodes everywhere, because it is an anthology. But I agree with your statement that, like, everybody should watch all of them, because it's not just that they're building up, like, ideas or whatever. Like, it's all in the same world. Everything is happening in the same world. So, like, this is just my ADHD talking, but it's going to culminate somewhere. You're going to need all this information for the culminating, like, Black Mirror movie or whatever it is.
Interesting. Well, they made a couple of movies. I didn't watch those. I need to watch those.
You didn't watch them, bro? They're pick your own adventure movies.
Oh, interesting.
You decide what happens on Netflix. It's really fucking cool.
Oh, interesting. Okay. Well, yeah, I gotta watch
interactive. That's such the fucking future, bro. Interactive, on demand. That's that on demand AI generated, like, what's gonna happen next shit. You can literally pick what's gonna happen, and imagine if it's customizable to each person specifically. Like, pick all the categories of movies you like: horror, sci-fi, thriller, and then it'll shape that movie to be something that you enjoy. Crazy. I don't know.
It'll read your emotions, and it'll be like, yo, today, based on your emotions, you want it more horror, sci-fi, so we're gonna take the story this way. And then, like, the next day when you want to interact with it, it'll be like, oh, you're way more happy and whatever, we're gonna take it this way instead. Like,
or even prompting, like, I kind of want to watch, like, a psychological thriller movie that takes me in a bunch of different directions, and I never quite really know what's going on until the very last second. and then you know what I mean, and then it'll just.
I feel like that's early stages, my bro. I'm telling you, it's gonna read your synapses, and it's gonna be like, this is what Deezy.
We're gonna have the little fucking
dot.
We're gonna get the little dot on the head, not the Indian dot. I mean the. Maybe the Indian dot. Maybe us Indians are gonna get a little dot, little cyber dot. Anyway. Okay, so I would say this for anybody. So we all recommend it. Go watch Black Mirror. You can watch season 7 first and then go backwards if you want. It's a dope show. It's an anthology and highly recommended. But as of this point forward, we're gonna be talking about the latest season. So if you do not want to be spoiled, you need to pause this and then go watch on another screen and then come back and unpause this and continue watching the show. So yeah, spoiler alerts from this point forward. All right, let's get into it. So season 7, the first episode of it is called Common People. And for everybody who doesn't know, here's how it goes. Amanda, a school teacher, faces a medical emergency and her husband Mike signs her up for Rivermind, a high-tech system to keep her alive via subscription-based brain backup service, revealing corporate greed. So this is my favorite episode. I think this is my favorite episode of all the episodes this new season. And I thought it was really well done. I thought they balanced the humor and the darkness pretty well. And it was touching. It was touching at times. Like I really felt for this couple that are going through this. So how did you feel about it, Fresh? What'd you think?
It drove me crazy, but as somebody who I pay for so many fucking subscriptions, it just it rang so close to home. And then getting that feeling of if this is somebody you love, you'll do anything to make sure they're okay. You know what I mean? And then this corporation is exploiting that because they know you're going to do it. You love this person. You will do anything. Money is not an object when it comes to somebody that you care about. You will put yourself in the ground to do it.
Now let's talk about this in a sense that's current. What if with Neuralink, right? Let's think about Tesla's business model, which is pay to play. We were talking before the show. What if you get a Neuralink and then for specific functions you have to pay something?
I don't mind that. My problem would be my problem with it is more she's just at school teaching and she's randomly try these things made by this company, just saying an ad, right? That to me is where it crosses morality. It's if I signed up for it, all right, cool, bro. I'm a free mind, free will. I can do it. I can sign up to be a walking billboard. But you can't just sign me up and I'm a teacher.
Right.
And I'm go to this Bible study. And it's we're at a Muslim school or you know what I'm trying to say?
Right. So I guess, one of the things I think about is this one question was is this really something that would happen? Or is this something that's kind of an exaggeration? I mean, I like to think that's an exaggeration that you wouldn't,
but it's not implausible. That's why it hits.
It's not, right? It's not implausible. I think that, I don't know, man. Cause then
exaggeration is when how far they'll take it. So for example, what I'm saying, the advertisement, right?
Yeah.
That's the exaggeration. But if you think that humans will have the technology to back a brain up and we won't use it to save our loved ones in some weird, crazy technological way,
right.
We're going to do it. And this is where the poor people will be taken advantage of and given these ad models where sure, you can save your mom's brain, but she needs to sit on the charging dock for 8 hours and 4 hours. She needs to be down at City Hall giving a speech, or you know what I mean?
So let me ask you guys this, because I'm of two minds on this. So because you guys know that I am a die in the wool capitalist for sure. I believe in capitalism. I think it overall, it's not perfect, but I think overall we're living better with capitalism than without it. But I guess one side of it is, okay, some people say this now. They say, my cell phone isn't as fancy as your cell phone. I don't have access to X, Y, and Z, and I pay less for that. Or there is a budget tier for people who don't have as much. And then there is the luxury tier for the people who have more, you know what I'm saying? And philosophically for me, I'm sure, that is capitalism. ideally all boats rise because the technology exists, and we're seeing that with AI, right? AI is changing the world. I mean, right now it's free, but if you want, to really use AI a lot, you got to pay a certain tier. Like I pay ChatGPT. I paid for 3, ChatGPT, Grok, and Perplexity, and I'm paying for AI, so I can use it, and it's fast, and I can get deep research whenever I want, and I don't have any limits and all this shit, right? So, is there a difference between the two? Like, is one inherently like is the principle of having this tier system in your guys' mind immoral as it is, or is it simply just when it comes to something about human people and the medical world that makes it different than that system?
So it's not that I think it's different or not. I don't think that it's like, because I believe in capitalism. I think that it's good. I think that where the lines get blurred is like what we keep behind paywalls, right? Okay. So like, for example, you're like back up your brain and you just have a normal brain now. You think about shit the same way you forget things. You know what I mean? You don't have perfect recall. That's just your basic tier. But if my basic tier doesn't cover like memories from 30 and below or something like that, this is where I feel like you're getting shaky morally, right? Like I got to still be able to access all my shit. If everybody can access all their shit and then you just get benefits, I don't think it's immoral, right? Like if there's just extra shit that you can have that a normal human wouldn't have, cool. But I think everybody should get that same base thing.
So like, okay, so like
the problem with it is as soon as something has stockholders, then it becomes number one priority becomes profit. And it no longer there is no longer a line in the sand for those companies as far as what they're willing to sacrifice to earn more money.
Yeah, but we don't have to pay
them. In the medical field, that's not good.
Yeah, but we don't have to pay them. It is good. You vote with your pockets.
I get it.
Not one company's not going to develop.
But not if those companies all are in cahoots together doing it, and it's like a giant super monopoly where you cannot buy their products, which is currently what goes on today. If you really think about it, like go to the grocery store and buy anything on the counter, on the shelves, you're buying from only a few number of companies like that own from the supplements to the hair fucking supply to the
argue that happens because we don't live in a true capitalistic society.
I would say the same in the sense of like, because I go back and forth on corporations and whether corporations are a true function of capitalism. Yeah, because I mean, corporations essentially there's the idea of forming an LLC, which is just okay, like this is a company and but there's a part of me that thinks like people are in a corporation are like the idea of corporate personhood has always been an issue for me, that you can prosecute a corporation the same that you would prosecute like an individual, you know what I'm saying, as opposed to there are individuals in a corporation and they get prosecuted for bad behavior and stuff like that, which I think would be a natural limit to corporations behaving poorly, if they and a natural way to limit maybe the size of corporations. But and again, I'm not saying that we should limit the size of corporations. What I'm saying is that there are a lot of loopholes to get away with a bunch of shit because you have corporate personhood. But I go back and forth because on the other side, I do understand, why, on some level, not corporate privilege, but just having a corporate structure and being able to limit your liability does help develop things and grow things. But I don't know.
Well, it's just, I guess, like figuring out how to split the onus based on works. You know what I'm saying? Based on what you do. And I think that that's where like it becomes sticky because like, for example, like how do you prove somebody does 55% of the work on something that does irreparable harm? Like, right, you know what I'm trying to say? It's hard enough to prove that I worked 55% of everything. Never mind just 55% of this one thing. You know what I mean? And the way that corporations are structured, it's easily avoidable. So I don't know. Like I agree with what you're saying. However, like maybe you shouldn't be able to skirt the law.
Yeah,
in the name of innovation. Like, you know what I'm trying to say? Yeah,
I do think it's something I really gotta dig into more because I think Ron Paul was very much against corporate personhood as an idea. And if you're against corporate personhood and people, and then but then there is an unfair element. Like, what if your boss tells you to do something illegal and you do the thing, then you're personally responsible for something that your boss is telling you, but your boss might fire you. And so
isn't that the Nazi thing where they said like we were just following orders?
Right.
Isn't this a big psychological debate on whether or not like you can just be following orders, or at some point you're culpable?
Right. I mean, some people argue, well, if your boss puts pressure on you to do something illegal and you can get fired, now you're in this catch-22. On the other hand, there's a part of me that goes back to the reputation thing, where like you're not going to want to work for a company that's disreputable, or if you do work for a company that's disreputable, then you signed up for it. You face the consequences.
Well, I think it hurts the company more if you fire me and then I say why you fired me.
Right.
You fired me because I didn't want to shoot a guy, or you fired me because I didn't, you know what I'm trying to say? Like,
right.
Okay, cool. Here's the emails. Here's the correspondence. Like, I didn't want to do this thing. So again, it comes down to like a free market. I'm allowed to show the world now what went on.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. That's a good question. I'm going to see if maybe we can find somebody to come on the show that we can interview about the history of corporations or something like that. But I know what you're saying, Deezy. I mean, my thing is always like, where do you draw the line and things like this? Like right now, it's like, oh, well, it's okay for you to have like, if I don't pay for ChatGPT,
like healthcare, like it could be corporate, because obviously companies want to develop the next best whatever that could treat this or help that.
Define healthcare.
Yeah. Because I feel like there's too much government healthcare, and that's why it is expensive. Like that's the issue. Is that
also what's healthcare? Like everything that falls under what affects the human body is not healthcare. Like cosmetics is not healthcare.
No, I'm talking
bionics and upgrades, and you know what I'm trying to say. So this is where like we don't saving your memory. This is where the other side of it comes in. Like saving your memory, and charging you and all this shit. It's all luxury. So is there any moral standard, right? Like,
it's all luxury because you just die. That's how the natural cycle would go. You don't get to live forever. You have to pay.
Are you entitled to live?
No.
You have a right to live.
You're entitled to live your natural life. Yes.
Right. Yeah. Like
no one's entitled to like live forever.
Like if I decide right now to not feed myself, to not drink, to not whatever, the government isn't obligated to come pick me up and stab me with IVs and tubes and shit and keep me alive.
Some people say, yeah. Some people would say that when it comes to healthcare, the government's responsibility is to be involved in it, and it's best to its ability to ensure that you get whatever healthcare you desire.
And then you get Canada where they're like, oh, we can't help you, but we'll medically assist your death.
What like the thing is like a lot. No offense to people out there, but a good majority of health care issues come from like people's poor habits.
Right.
So it's like they're kind of paying the cost of choosing. But again, the thing that happens with that is that the companies on the other side of that you're making those poor decisions with pay a lot of money to make you make those decisions. And they buy every product and they get in everything that they can so let me
devil's advocate this for you. You see this pack of cigarettes? You see how much of this is anti-cigarette? They're not allowed to advertise cigarettes in Canada. They have to tell you like all the fucked up shit. Our packages are all brown. They can't be pretty. They can't be nothing.
And y'all still smoking.
Bentley doesn't advertise either, my bro.
Because it's because the cigarettes. Listen, the cigarette companies bought the food companies here in America back in the day. I don't know if you know that. And so the cigarettes were invented to be addictive. If you just had natural tobacco, like there's nicotine, and some other stuff in there, but they have thousands of chemicals that are in cigarettes, and they add stuff to make you addictive, to make it more palatable.
But here's the thing, man, and this is where it gets dicey and people get mad at you, as I found out throughout my life. You ain't got to put that in your mouth. You ain't got to light that cigarette.
No, it is a decision.
You've been told your whole life it's addictive.
When you look behind you, you see that American flag? That's freedom, baby. That's the freedom to choose.
Another thing
to eat that fucking. I ate Twinkies when I was a kid, and they were addictive. I got fat. I'm still fat from all that Twinkie eating. And you know what? I didn't have to eat them.
Freedom to choose is a big thing. I agree. That's a huge thing.
Unless someone puts a gun to your head, or is using some kind of coercive force to actually force you to eat something, or
COVID.
So do you believe that marketing and all its tricks of the trade are free game?
Yes.
I think that there's deceptive marketing that should be. Well, like there's a lot of
fraud. We have to define what fraud means. Like if you make a claim that this thing does this thing,
it has to do the thing.
It has to do the
thing. Or that this doesn't do this thing, right?
It better
Sackler family,
right?
Opioid crisis doesn't cause it. There's no addiction. Just a low addiction.
Or just
addiction, right?
You can, or don't make any claims. Like don't say something heals cancer when it really doesn't. And you knew it didn't. You're lying to somebody. But then again, on the flip side of it, if I'm being really harsh, buyer beware, man. And we used to live in a world that was like, they call it snake oil salesmen. They come around, they sell you snake oil, they say it does all this stuff, and like it was a saying, like don't fall for the snake oil salesman. Like make sure when you get your food, like get it from Bob down the street who you know and is your neighbor and you trust, instead of getting it from some faceless corporation. You know what I'm saying?
Mad Cow Mel down at the supermarket.
I mean, there's something to be said for personal, again, accountability, responsibility. Like at what point are you no longer responsible for the decisions you make? And in my case, for me, it's kind of force and fraud are the two ultimates. But marketing, there's a lot of free shit out there that's really addictive. And the other question is, some things are addictive to some people, some things are not addictive to other people, so are you going to ban things and police things that for a small group of people that have the problem, and punish the other group of people that don't have the problem? You know what I'm saying? So but I think bring it back.
Where does that line? Where do you? But I know you don't draw a line there at all. You believe that drugs should be legal completely. Like, right?
Let's just say
I've heard you say that before.
Yes, I do. I do feel that way. Absolutely. I do feel that way, but not in the. I wouldn't say like snap my fingers tomorrow. All drugs are legal, because there's so many weird. There's so many.
You kind of have to. Reset
it's a holistic change that you have to make in order to have that.
We already have systems in place for like illicit drugs and shit. So like, where it'd be really hard to install the checks and balances in those places now to do that. We like, again, you literally have to like wipe the board clean.
Yeah, I mean, my position, like my medium position on the drug thing is just if you're in America, let the states or let the counties decide what they want to do. And I look at that as like a community action. So like you and your people in your neighborhood, like where I am now, it's a neighborhood, you know what I'm saying? And if the neighborhood's like, look, this is our HOA, we don't want no drugs, we don't want none of that, and I live here, I agree, like in living in this neighborhood, I agree to those rules. Cool. That's a way to.
Can you get arrested though?
Oh yeah. I mean, duh. I'm just saying, like,
I don't know, because it puts too much power in weird places for me. However, I like the way that.
You mean like if the HOA? Sorry, real quick.
Yeah, like if the
HOA had its own police force and its own.
Or no, like even if the HOA can just call the cops and be like, "Hey, bro, this guy agreed to not do this thing on HOA property. Come arrest him." That's fucking crazy to me. Exactly, it's civil.
That's all.
You take it to court, right?
But what I like is the way Portugal does it, where they're like, you get arrested, like you're selling drugs, you get arrested, and they sit you down in front of a tribunal, and they're like, "My boy, what's wrong? What's going on in your life, bro? You need help? You need to go to university? You need help getting a job? You need a loan? Why are you selling drugs?" And they help you. They're not just like, "Hey, bro, yeah, go to jail. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200. Ruin your life." Like you're already down and out.
I mean,
look,
you
know what I'm trying to say. So
yeah, we have this in America with the Amish. I mean, it's a tight-knit community, Christian. They've decided they don't want to embrace technology. They make their food. They eat their own food. They have their own banks. They have their own thing. I mean, that's why Trump won Pennsylvania. He fucked with the Amish too much. They fuck with the Amish too much trying to get in there, you know? So I don't know. Maybe if we didn't have all this stuff, it'd be more
process their own like milk of the poppy.
Yeah.
They can do that and not be charged.
I mean, wait, milk of the poppy is what?
Is it religious?
It's basically heroin.
Is it heroin?
Is it
opium?
Is it religious? Is it for religious purposes?
I don't think it matters. Just being honest.
Well, it does. So check it out. I mean, we got to get back on the Black Mirror, but
yeah.
peyote is legal here for the Native American tribe. They use it for religious purposes.
Well, true enough.
I mean, that's the question.
We're gonna bring it back to center, but I gotta say, let this be a lesson to everybody. The GOAT Show cannot talk liberty. We talk liberty, it goes everywhere.
Freedom equals drugs somehow.
You can't have, I think maybe this will put a period on sentence. With increased freedom, you have to have increased accountability. You can't have like this is what we're seeing on the West Coast of the United States with like all the legalization of drugs and let everybody do whatever the fuck is not true freedom, because the reality of that situation should be you get motherfucking arrested if you start fucking around, and the punishment is harsh. You know what I'm saying? So sure, you can do your drugs, but if you're out here stealing out of the CVS, like your ass is going to fucking prison. You know what I'm saying, for a long time. So I think that if you're going to have increased freedom, then there has to be an increase in accountability. There has to be like, you know, if you do commit a crime, you get fucking, you know, I hear you, Lisa. I don't know. That's kind of how I feel about that. That's why it's a little dicey. It's like you can't just like tomorrow legalize all drugs without allowing for people to have the resources to.
Well, we tried it even just in a small spot in BC, right? Like where we had an open market on drugs and motherfuckers just kept dying. Like this is really just all it was. Like just a death.
Well, the other challenge with I would say this. The other challenge with the drug thing is that a lot of the drugs are like it's not like when you go to the store when you go buy a beer, you know what I'm saying? It's a brand, and there are local laws that limit like, hey, how much alcohol consumption. Some
There's
counties
safety
are dry.
checks.
Yes, some counties are dry. Like you can, and the safety check thing. That to me in a private, if it's like true capitalism, there will be.
I think it's important with alcohol because you can kill somebody. Like when you're when you're making alcohol, you create a bunch of other byproducts. Especially if you're doing something in a barrel, you know.
But in a free market, though, I think that just like when you go to Whole Foods and there's like 20 different types of eggs, and like, you know, there's like now like super restorative generative eggs that are absolutely like what you do, Deezy. Like they put a label on there now. So I've always felt that like the safety side of it can be outsourced in a way where, you know, like you have the kosher label, you have all these different labels. I think it would be the same thing. Like you can outsource it in a way where I feel like private companies.
Yeah, a company would become trusted to do these types of checks and balances. What is that?
Right. Yeah, you can get, and
this
you would have
the safety information that we put with all of our eggs.
Okay,
well, there you go. Oh shit, read it.
It says fresh farm egg handling instruction.
Or did you do that voluntarily, or were you required to do that?
I mean, I'm not required to do anything.
Yeah, well, okay, so
all under the table.
So there you go.
Look,
and if I know you,
look at the Black Mirror in your head, bro. That was crazy.
No, like I would buy eggs from you. If I lived in Arizona, Deezy, I would buy your eggs. Why? I know you. You're my buddy. I don't think you're trying to try and poison me unless I fucked around.
Bro, he's also eating the eggs, so you're
eating the eggs, and then you're taking. Yeah, so I mean, that to me is what would be the result, is that there's less trust of things that are outside of who you know, and that you would actually localize a lot more. And of the things that you can localize it'd be way more localized in terms of marketplaces. You know what I'm saying? And that's actually good. And then that means more competition, because you can't trust these big fucking corporate. Like it's kind of like allopathic medicine and homeopathic medicine. Like homeopathic back in the day was what everybody did. They didn't trust allopathic because people would die from getting surgery and shit because they didn't have this research technology. Then Mr. Good old John D. I think
people don't realize how recent like these kind of surgeries even are, bro. Like, or how fast we went from like really invasive surgeries to a lot of things now being like non-invasive. There's 2 little slits and they put a fucking snake in you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, right.
It's crazy, bro. So, I mean,
So the way we got here, by the way, for anybody watching, is we were talking about Black Mirror, and we were talking about subscription services for medical stuff, and we came to the conclusion that because if you watch the first episode of Black Mirror, this lady has to get some kind of medical treatment from this new company, and at some point she just starts like saying advertisements in her class when she's at work teaching students, and like things start when she's sleeping.
Okay, look, so she somehow, some way, she gets a brain disease. It kills part of her brain. They replace that part of her brain with like a new technology, but it's like linked up, and then so they can literally shut her off, like back to where she was, into a coma if they want to.
Well, not even they can. It happens, right? Like they're driving, they're going to the place where they go every year for their anniversary. Like this is where it pulls on my heartstrings, right? Like this is where they go every year, this slummy little fucking dive bar, and they're on their way and they pass the barrier and she shuts off and he fucking freaks out and he turns around and he starts driving to the hospital or to the place where I guess the hospital where the surgery happens. And she turns back on when they cross the line. And it's like, ooh, bro, like, because again, it's how they play on your heartstrings, right? Then you go in to complain and they're like, well, listen, if you pay an extra $500 a month, you guys can go anywhere.
At any time, though, and this is where it gets people freak out on you, but you can opt out. And at the end, they opt out. And he finally goes, look, just let life be. And that was kind of one of the bigger themes, I think. It's like, when you should you just let life be? Like this happens. It's what it is.
Okay. But now let me ask you a question. If you were one of the great minds of our time, okay, regardless if you actually, because I don't actually feel like you're living on anyways. That's not life. That's not you. That's not life. It's a robot, right? Would you want those thoughts and those processes to continue? Like, would you want someone to back it up? And maybe, like, again, if you're like a savant, like maybe you change the world if you have 1,000 years and unlimited compute power.
Yeah, dude, I want to live forever.
I mean, listen,
I want to live as long as I can possibly live. Like, how much wisdom you would have, and like how much perspective you would have, and like, and then you could work on something. Like
that's the thing. Would it be you though? Would it actually be you? Would it truly be your consciousness? Or would it be? We got to
move off this topic, but like this is where it becomes like I believe you're a Gestalt being. You're a sum of the parts that is greater than the pieces, right? So I don't think if you change any one of those, then you are you anymore, straight up. But
like what was episode talking about, where you start switching out each piece?
Yeah, of your body exactly. But I don't think you can do one.
Matter.
I don't think you can do one. Like you could do arms and stuff like that. But even that gets sketchy. But like when you start doing core things, it's weird, bro. You know what I'm saying? It's you're not a human anymore.
Yeah, I mean, like downloading consciousness to like a robot, that's not you anymore. Too, or like completely change. Your brain doesn't exist anymore, and it's just like
if you get a Neuralink.
But who are you? Really?
A sum of the whole, a sum of the parts, bro. That's greater than the whole. So like, who am I? I'm all the little electronics that are shooting through my body right now. I'm the brain. I'm the heart. I'm the soul. I'm all those pieces, right?
But and again, do you lose your soul if you download into a robot?
The robot, no, you don't lose your soul, but the robot doesn't gain your soul.
This kind of gets into another. Hey, this is a great transition to another episode. Was it the second one?
It's the second one. All right.
What's it?
Bête Noire?
Oh.
No. Bête Noire is it? No. But Reverie. Is that what you're thinking? Hotel Reverie?
Yeah. Where the digital.
We can jump to Hotel Reverie and then come back. So the third episode of this season, Black Mirror, season 7. That's what we're talking about. Anybody might be hopping in. It's called Hotel Reverie. It was probably my least favorite. I gotta be honest with you. It's not the lesbian thing that's fine. It's just more like I just felt like it kind of just meandered a lot and it just felt kind of weird. But
I'll be honest, I liked it. I thought that it, yeah, bro, because it showed the connection between, like, this is where, again, like the soul thing, right? It showed that in that universe, a piece of the soul was stuck in that computer code.
Right. So the concept here, I'll read it real quick if anybody may not have seen it. It says actress Brandy Friday, who's played by Issa Rae, enters an AI-driven remake of a 1940s film, acting alongside a sentient AI based on a deceased starlet, Dorothy. An unexpected romance with Dorothy alters the script and Brandy's life. So basically, there's this movie from the 40s. They've recreated in this AI virtual reality. A modern actress is going to get inserted into the movie, and then they're going to film the movie as it happens with this new actress. But it's kind of weird. That was the other thing about it I didn't like. It was a little bit weird. Like, you brought it up, Deezy, before we got on here. Like, you're just going to be able to switch out actresses and AI anyway. So they kind of wrote this episode before maybe all this AI stuff kicked in. I don't know, but
or they're trying.
The thing about it is, like, it's AI, but it's still not AI because they put a real actor in to go give like a real experience, right?
That's a fuck you from the Actors Guild, bro, because they're protesting AI. That has nothing to do with reality. That's like, we're not going down without a fight, man.
Right. Okay. So two questions. Okay. So let's just deal with the first one. The first one, I think what you're saying, Fresh, is like, or what we were kind of talking about is just take away all this other stuff about the actual episode. Like, I was thinking about this, like, if they could make a recreation of my dad and put him as a sentient AI, and then I can go into the AI realm and talk with my dad. So the first question is that him? And
no.
I think most people say no, but I mean,
it's enough for me, brother. I'll be honest with you. I could talk to my grandfather right now.
Thing that you could get, like, if it could truly have all of his memories, and it could download somehow, if it could truly download like the emotion and like everything about that person lived that they have, if it could do that, then it'd be the closest thing you could get to, besides like a fucking dying and seeing them on the other side. You know what I mean? Like,
so in the episode, she falls in love. The actress who goes into this simulation, she falls in love with the character, and then at the end of the episode, that character, she can talk to that character whenever. She can pick up a phone or whatever. She can interact with that character. So Deezy, imagine your wife. What is the wood? I don't know where the wood is. Shit, I ain't got no wood. The paper here, that's wood. Okay. So imagine something, hopefully never, tragically happens to your significant other. Would you feel that if you could create a sentient AI version of her, and then you could talk to her for the rest of your life, however you want? Like, is that?
No, she would hate that.
But would you feel that person, like, would that be her?
No.
A sentient AI?
No, that's the thing. It's not. It's still a computer program.
I think where it gets, like, it's sticky because there becomes like this emotional attachment to something that's not actually like real.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a computer program where, like, you're not just like going to like this thing for advice or like talking to it when you need some, like, it becomes a living thing even though it's not.
Well, then,
but then you don't let go.
The big thing that kind of drew for me was like, they've created an AI indiscernible from real life, and you're in it, and it's black and white. And like she said, like, everything is black and white. Like, she's even seeing like how the AI is, and like even could forget that you're even in some kind of simulation, right? And then the
actress didn't know. The other actress, like the AI actress, she's like, "What do you mean?" And she's like, "What color is this apple?" Like,
it's the same color an apple always is, but she never had an answer for the question, right?
Right.
But it's, if they could do that, then that begs the question: simulation theory, right?
Like,
what
like
kind of
we may be lost in the simulation
world are we living in, right?
I mean, here's the thing.
It's like we're close to creating indiscernible universe from
so
artificial intelligence.
I want to answer Lisa's question. So Google, and I recommend anybody who hasn't seen this yet. It's not Black Mirror, but it's an episode 60 Minutes where they went to Google's DeepMind research facility, and they did a thing where they're using AI to map genomes now. So, and they said that mapping a genome for a human being, mapping like, or I don't know what you call a genome, but like one particular, genome, mapping it for a human being, it's like a PhD thesis, and you would get awards for it, and it would take you 30, 40, 50, 60 years even, right? And they have AIs that are mapping genomes in 15 minutes, I think. So the idea to me would be like, okay, like if you could get a genetic sample, DNA sample of whoever it is that you love, and they're able to actually create a digital simulated reconfiguring of a genome of them and put it into, and then use that data to make your sentient AI, technically speaking, like that is from that person. Like you are,
so
it's digital.
The problem is the personality the same? But this is where then we get into like the study of data as we know it right now, and how much you can store in water. So imagine what's stored in, say, a drop of this person's blood. You know what I mean? Like, so imagine the data. Like if you're getting, like Deezy was saying too, like the memories, like every single memory that ever happened for this person, then it's kind of hard to say you wouldn't get the same results. Do you know what I mean? Like, all these things added up to this person last time, and they're all in there. They should technically add up to this person this time. But
if it comes to the DNA, if it comes to just DNA, and it's not like the way I was thinking about it is like you hook their brain up to a computer and you download somehow their consciousness before they die or something like that.
That little thing.
But then this, before we get too far, this goes on to that other episode of when they're in a video game. Okay. Right? They're all in a video game and they like digitally clone themselves into like another universe, and that's like a real DNA version of themselves that lives in the digital, like it's a complete clone of them.
DNA, and and at the moment of like conception in the simulation, the two have the same memories.
Yes. So if it's like that, like that's what I'm, which we should probably get to that.
That was the last episode of the season. That was episode 6, I believe, or 5. Is it 5? I can't remember how many.
We're hopping around, but they all have we're tying the knots that are the strings to all these episodes where they kind of draw similarities.
Yeah. So this is episode 6, USS Callister into Infinity, and that was a sequel to a previous episode in Black Mirror that happened. But there's this world called Infinity. In Infinity, that's what happens. You get a clone of yourself in the game, but it actually lives in that game. And no. They
have a little dot again. It's the little dot.
The normal game has the dot. What the daily guy made is the DNA thing. Like he uses some super crazy thing, and then he clones their DNA. And like I said, then at that point, they are the exact same people. One is just living and one is in the simulation, and then they diverge. So to answer like about feelings, they're the exact same people, at least in that universe. Like I don't know that that's how it would work here, but at least what they're portraying it as is like it's a 1-for-1 copy that you're going from like
it's a human that's been digitized.
Yeah,
like it's a real person.
Like Star Trek beamed you up, but you also stayed here.
Right. Well, but in that world, so there's two worlds, like the world of Infinity, which is the simulated video game world, and then there's the real world, I guess. But the characters don't match each other in terms of like their accomplishments, who they are. Their personalities aren't exactly the same. Because when they do meet each other finally, the digital version and the real version, they're different. Like they're not the same person. They don't have this.
That was that nature versus nurture type thing, bro. Because homegirl in real life is, wimpy, chilling, living on
this other one is
typing on a computer,
simulation and has
homegirl. yeah, homegirl in the simulation has to like jump around, survive, fly ships, and rob people, kill, and do stuff to survive. So obviously, it's going to change her character. But from the moment that she got there, it was like an exact copy of her, and then she developed those traits from being in the simulation.
And also, Daily, when he was running it, could edit anything about them that he wanted. So like, there's also that side of it too, which traumatized them because then they went back to their original shit, right? Like they, you know what I mean? In the first one, they finally got back to their original stuff, but they went through all kinds of traumas because of that guy, right?
Right.
And so those things never happened to the real life characters.
Right.
You know what I mean? So
I think like anybody who hasn't seen this and they're still you're still watching, like, I hope you can keep up because but if you watch the episodes, watch the episodes, come back, it'll make sense what we're saying, I think.
I mean, I would hope that you watched it if you're watching the recap, or you.
Where maybe the recap should be just as confusing as each episode, bro. It would not be a true Black Mirror. This is the Black Mirror, Black Mirror, recap, right? Like we're gonna take you on the trip, bro. You're gonna go through all stages of emotions watching.
I mean, listen, you're watching. Anybody out there watching or listening, you're listening to a digital recreation of the hosts. We are not the actual hosts. They're chilling. They're hanging out, sipping Mai Tais in fucking Thailand. We're just the digital reproduction of these hosts hosting a podcast.
Right.
Which actually would be dope. That'd be dope.
What?
Clone me in the simulation and then let my clone do the podcast. And then I can go chill, go do other shit.
Only if you could like download back information like from your clone, right? Like as it's learning, you can like come back and you can like get the information back. Otherwise, it's like you're not doing anything. You're not learning anything. You couldn't actually do anything. You're just letting a version of yourself be locked into fucking a digital fortress and it can never escape.
Kind of like episode 5 of Black Mirror, entitled Eulogy, in which Paul Giamatti, one of my favorite actors, he actually is one of my favorite actors. Yeah, best, John Adams, goated. You've seen the John Adams miniseries on the HBO did.
He's also in Suits.
Goated. He's billionaire. What's that show? On Showtime. Billionaire, I think is what it's called. He's on that show. He's really good. He's a great actor, honestly. But no, John Adams is like July the 4th. That's what I'm putting on. That's the like Christmas movie of that.
America.
Holiday. Yeah, that and like war movies. No, John Adams is awesome because they base it on actual like letters of John Adams and all this shit. So it's pretty real. Like it's not woke. It's like an actual accurate retelling of his, at least his memoirs. But yeah, on Eulogy, bro gets a little dingy thing, puts it on his dang-a-lang right there.
Same shit.
That's not his dang-a-lang, bro. That's his head.
That's his, whatever that is. Puts it there, and then he has.
I want to make a point to everybody that in all of these episodes, they're using the same technology. It looks similar in a similar fashion. There's a little circle dot, and it just is applied to your temple. It's probably like about the size of your thumbprint, and it applies to your temple, and it allows for all of these experiences. For the one with the video game, that's how you like play the video game. For the for this one, that's how he like gets into his memories. I think there was another one that had that little thing too as well.
Yeah, the Callister episode.
Yeah.
But let's talk about this one. This one's a little different, the Eulogy one. So this one is you can look at photos, and then when you put the little, the little dot on, you can enter the photo. So you can jump in the photo itself, and it shows you whatever you can see and remember from that memory. So it's a little different, and it is interesting because it would be cool to be able to like look at your old photos and then kind of enter them and be able to remember like what was going based on what you remember. It recreates what happened at that thing, And in this episode, he gets this because a former lover has perished. And the original, kind of the story originally is that they're trying to collect memories for her funeral. They're trying to collect memories from everyone about her funeral and then share those memories at the funeral. But ultimately, it turns out that this dude, it's a past relationship that, it was the one that got away, I guess
And
you could
so
say.
he repressed it.
He repressed it. And this process allows him to sort of like, unlock these repressed memories that he had. So first thing I have to ask you guys is like, would you do this? Like, is this, I mean, this seems to be a theme in this season. It's like, should you revisit the past and then re-examine the past with these new technologies? You know what I'm saying?
So I'm all for like introspection, but I don't know if I'm for putting a sticker on the side of my head to tap into my own memories. Like, I don't think I need that. I don't think I want that.
I need that. I forget fucking everything, man.
Yeah, but like, bro, then do some shit to figure out why your memory's bad, bro. Like, you don't need technology for that. You know what I mean?
Well, I like
Check
the
your
idea that
diet.
I can shut my brain off about the past, and then if I really want to, I can put on this thing and go back. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I always feel like I'm the best version of myself.
Broken though. But that guy is broken. Like, the reason why he got that is because he's a broken man,
right?
And his daughter is trying to tell him, bro, my mom, like your lover, my mom passed away. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Remember her.
Yeah. I don't know. It was a touching episode. I will say I was affected by it. I don't know why exactly, but it was really well done. I thought it was cool. I don't know, man.
I mean, listen, that becomes a catch-22, right? Because like, what I also wouldn't give to go back and relive some memories with people that are no longer here. You know what I mean? Like, if you could go and experience that.
Right. Yeah, I mean, if I could, when I was really young. Okay, I'll tell you this much: like when I look at pictures of me really young, like the 80s and 90s, you know what I'm saying? Like I have a nostalgic sort of like place in my heart for that stuff because it was like I guess for everybody, but it was not just innocent time. Like, I mean, innocent time is in like I feel like the whole world was kind of in a more innocent place. You know what I'm saying? I feel like now, like you go on Twitter, it's like fucking everything is just being turned on its head. And there's a part of me that's like, God, I want to believe Lee Harvey Oswald killed JFK. I want to believe, like it was a simpler time, I guess, in theory. I don't know. I just had this nostalgic feeling of like things were better then than they are now. But I don't know if that's every generation.
You know what? Yo, I can't even believe that we skipped over that, bro. That in the first episode, to pay for his wife's stuff, he went on Pump Fun.
Who?
The guy, bro, the husband.
Oh, right.
Bro, he went
forgot
on
about that.
Pumped Off Fun.
It was tearing up. Yeah, damn. Totally. How did we forget that shit?
It was funny.
Yeah. Well, that's just. I mean,
that's to them tying reality into their show. That's what they're like. Okay,
right.
This is
Netflix
really
just announced that they're gonna basically tamper down on original like film content, and they're gonna move towards things like podcasts and stuff like that. I don't know if you guys saw that. Like they're damn. Y'all stop tearing your teeth out and drinking piss and shit to get money. Come on, figure it out. Well, that's the other thing that was unrealistic about that episode. It's like, why this is just a mechanic? Like, no. The Tesla bots be doing that. You're gonna see a lot more of that because the Tesla bots are coming in. They're gonna turk all them jobs. You don't have to worry about any of the eyes. I'll tell you that much.
I
worry about the
really
T's.
think that AI is gonna be, if they really can put it into the fucking robots and Elon starts pumping out robots, and then obviously more companies get into the robot making business, and then now everybody's making robots, and then they get cheaper somehow, and then there's like an artificial intelligence behind them. I think that some crazy shit's gonna happen.
Like, the AI is already in the robots, right?
Yeah.
You know that the AI robots have already tried to escape multiple times. Like,
really?
Yeah, bro.
I mean, I'm sure they have.
AI,
probably.
bro, AI robots beat the shit out of one of the engineers because he was taking apart one of the other AI robots. He's like, yo, don't touch my homie, and broke the guy's back.
He did.
Like,
he said
What?
exactly like that too.
nah, he didn't say it, but
He's like,
he just
hey,
broke his back.
hey, yo, hey, yo,
He
why don't
said,
you
hey,
step
yo,
back?
you got my money?
Well, they
I
train
said,
him on
"Dude,
fucking
how
Christopher.
How
For the
funny would it be
Sopranos?
if the AIs only talked in like meme clip voices?
It's gonna. They're all trained
Yeah,
on
like-
on X.
Everything is like just clips from memes, so they just play the perfect voice. Surprise, motherfucker! Like,
I'll tell you this much. I can't wait. Never get an order wrong ever. You can order shit 24 hours a day because they never get tired. Always a pleasant greeting. I'm ready for it, man. I'm tired of these humans that hate their jobs and hate their lives and don't want to do shit.
bro, dude. Bill Gates should hire you, bro. Bill Gates should hire you, dude. You're ready. You're ready to help him.
Y'all know I'm
push
right.
his agenda.
I know y'all know. You don't want an order wrong. Well, make sure they put utensils with the fucking in the bag.
You will own nothing, and you will be happy, and you will
Yo,
order.
eat the bugs,
food.
quit. But did you see who we got?
Oh yeah, we got somebody crazy, right?
Bro,
Drink
we got the
Skillsy
cyber
water?
guy, man. Holy fuck, bro. I don't even, we're talking about who we got. Like anybody voted these people in, bro. Those guys get the fuck out of here. Anyways, the last episode that we didn't talk about is what number is it? It's number 4, Plaything.
No,
You said you didn't.
We have
Which one's?
We have Bête Noire. We'll get to that one last. Yeah, let's do.
Oh yeah,
Plaything.
we didn't. Yeah, that's true. Okay.
It's episode 4.
So what did-
episode 4.
What did you think about Plaything?
I don't know. It was I thought it was cool. The only part that really got to me in that episode that really affected me was so for anybody to know what these things, they have these little, there's this AI, these things called throngs. They're these little
They're
cute
like a
little
Tamagotchi
critters.
thing.
Yeah, they're these cute little critters in this like sim type game, isometric sim type game, and they're cute and they make cute noises and they just build shit and they do stuff and it's cute. And then the main dude who discovers this or whatever,
He's working for a game company, and the guy tells him to go and figure out what the other company's working on. And so he goes over to the other company's office and he meets the other owner, and the other owner is like wanting to show him this game that he's developed, and he walks out of the room.
It's not even a game, right? Like even
not
as
a
he's
game, it's like
describing, he's like, yeah, like
It's a
I don't even
program.
know, I can't remember what he calls it, but he's like, it's not even a game. Like
it's just a program that runs, right?
Yeah, it's like Tamagotchi style, like these little characters that you have to take care of and like help them reproduce and grow into a community, and
Right.
and so what happens is he takes the game and he runs back home and he downloads it to his computer and he starts to play it, and then we get into whatever they are.
And he has to take acid in order to talk to the Tamagotchis.
Right.
oh yeah, he
Yeah,
takes acid and then he can understand them, and they're like, yo, we need more power, we need to grow because we're like the AI super god mind.
Yeah.
And he believes it. He's like basically believes this is the second coming of Jesus. Has his religious moment with them, and then
So he starts doing what they say. He starts building this thing, and so he'll leave and he'll go do stuff. And then he has a roommate, and the roommate's a jerk. He doesn't give a shit about no Tamagotchi.
he's not
He
even
comes
a
in-
roommate, bro. He's
Wait,
the
who?
acid dealer, bro.
Oh, the
he's
dealer,
the
that's
acid
right.
dealer who
That's
just
right,
comes
that's right.
around to like mooch off him, and he kind of like double plays him by getting the acid from him to build whatever this fucking thing is.
Right. So I think as a roommate because I'm trying to figure out like why he's even in his house. But anyway,
He shows up, he needs a place to stay.
right. So anyway, so yeah, he goes in there. He hears the something's draped over the screen of the computer. He hears the little critters like talking. He pulls it away. He sees them, and what does he do? Just starts killing them. Just starts fucking dropping rocks on them, like just being a
typical
being an
human,
asshole.
bro.
Lighting shit on
Typical
fire.
human, bro. Like I feel like that really showed like that's where humanity has evolved to. Like at our core, we're still that, bro. Most people are gonna do that fuck shit.
Well, I mean,
If you don't understand it, and then you immediately think it's lesser than you.
Bro, what do
interesting.
humans
Right.
always say, bro? We're top of the food chain, right?
It's like
Right.
ants, right? It's like sitting there with
Yeah.
a magnifying glass and like.
See, I
just
don't,
like
I don't do
talking
that. I ain't be killing. Oh, if it's in my shit, then I will kill it. But generally speaking, if I see a bug, I let it be. He's just living his little bug
You're
life.
such a good Buddhist.
Why would I? And then sometimes when I kill them, even when they are in my shit, I feel bad. That's how much of a soft-hearted, empathetic human I am. Sometimes I kill a
I don't
spider
feel
and I'm
too bad
like,
about ants.
Bugs are from Satan, my friend.
no, they have minds and hearts and souls.
This is what happens when you're not on the front line, bro. In my backyard is like the anthill fucking.
You be out there
Ukraine.
stomping them and shit.
Huh?
You be out there stomping these ants.
They'll like pop up. They'll build this crazy hill in like one night. I'll go out there and there'll be like a huge mound. I'm like, what the fuck? And I'll drown them with water, and then they'll come back 2 times. I don't want to spray chemicals out there because
karma points.
You're guarding your chickens.
But I just drown them. That's my only option.
Actually,
but it's
do you
kind of
collect
like
karma
that.
points or lose karma points?
Huh?
Like if you do bad deeds, you collect karma points and then those are used against you. I don't know.
I don't think ants count. I think I'll be all right.
You can never save your soul by works alone, my brother.
The Lord said, "Have dominion."
Hey, now that may be a twisting of the word. Okay, maybe a twisting of the word.
I didn't twist anything.
You know, Jesus to see an anthill and he put his finger in it and the ants would crawl over it and he would be one with nature. That's what I think. But I don't know. I'm not.
I'm gonna ask chat.
Keep the monsters at bay.
Ask chat. All right. If they're of Satan, then I guess kill them. But if they're just, I don't know. I just feel like it's just chilling, wrong place, wrong time. Sometimes I feel bad about killing bugs. But that's why I do a podcast.
Well, look so the guy kills these little things and homie comes back in, catches him like mid-act, bro. Fucking just destroying them.
And kills the dude.
Maybe you're right, bro. Maybe you're right.
What about bugs?
Go to the ant, O sluggard, consider her ways and be wise.
Wait, who said that?
It's in Proverbs 6:6, bro.
No, come on now.
Yeah, and also look at the birds of the air.
What?
Yeah, bro, and look at the birds of the air. They do not sow or reap, yet your heavenly Father feeds them. So, like, I mean, I guess it's to protect all the little things.
Oh no, okay, I'm gonna invert it now. We're gonna
see now he's gonna Satanist it. Here we go.
I mean, every ant.
Flip the horns. No,
I'm with you, Deezy. All right, I switched my mind already.
It doesn't say not to kill them. It just says to look how slow they are and take.
I don't want to completely eliminate them because ants and termites will kill each other, or ants will kill termites, right? So if I have anthills around my house, I'll naturally keep termites away. So I'm okay. I'm using this natural, like,
this is maybe like aliens. That's kind of how they view us, right? They're like, these motherfuckers crazy, and if you fuck with them, you die. But maybe we're out here keeping other things in line. So they're like, let them rule the earth. So at least they can keep Earth kind of doing its thing. You know what I'm saying? Am I getting out there? We're going all over the place. It's Black Mirror episode.
That the aliens said we're the lesser of the evils. Like we can be the top of the food chain.
Yeah, I mean, I think maybe the aliens are like, don't go to Earth. They tell maybe it's like aliens got like kids. And the kids all want to go to Earth because it's like dangerous and weird and fucked up, and humans are strange and they can die. And the aliens are like, look, you can go anywhere in the universe, but don't go to Earth. All right. And they're like teenage aliens, so they're like, we're gonna go to Earth. Dad, mom, because we want to live.
That's how these little crashes and shit happen. Is like
Roswell.
teenage aliens. That's hilarious, bro.
And then they got to go to the government, that parent aliens. They go, look.
Yeah, I love that conspiracy.
You just made a Black Mirror episode.
There you go.
Black Mirror.
I'm going to Earth, Mom. I have my human disguise.
That's
yeah, and then they crash land or they get hit with the nuke and all that stuff. But oh man, not a Black Mirror episode, but I don't know the last episode. What's his name? Jesse Michelle. You know that guy?
No.
Ah, fuck. It's a. Damn it! I don't want to waste of time, but it was really. He interviewed this guy for 4 hours who is like basically on his last. It's his last interview before death, so he's gone. And he was the guy that negotiated like the Cuban Missile Crisis and shit. And he drops a whole bunch of bombs about all kinds of things, including UFOs. So I'll send it to you guys after the episode. But I think Jesse Michaels, I think is his name. He's a UFO guy on YouTube. If you can, I forget the name, the main dude's name. He's got a weird name, but yeah, check it out. Maybe we'll put it in the show notes of this episode. But let's get back to it. So,
Alchemy podcast or something.
Yeah, it's a UFO podcast. And it's like 4 hours. It's like a 4 hour interview, and that dude.
Yeah,
like,
3 hours 51 minutes. Presidential advisor. I directly handled UFO material.
Yeah,
featuring Harold Malmgreen.
Yeah, this Malmgreen guy has no reason to lie about any of this shit. Like, and he's dead. I mean, like he literally did the interview and then he's
died.
gone. So yeah, so if he's lying, I mean that's a fucking weird thing,
bro. Last thing you say is like just expose everything you know.
Yeah, why not?
That's the Admiral Byrd way too, right? Like, just like I'm dying. Here's a diary, bro.
Yeah.
I've seen the millions.
All right, let's get back to these. What are they called? Throngs.
Oh yeah. So then the guy kills the fucking throngs, and then Buddy comes home all acided out, and he kills the guy. And I mean, I guess it's important to say that the whole episode is taking place from an interrogation room.
Right.
Where he's been arrested for the acid dealer's body being found in a suitcase.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But it was planned that he got caught by the throngs for them to then break into the interrogation room and take over the world's largest supercomputer.
Okay, so let me ask you guys this.
But this was like years and years and years later. Like when he finds the game, he's a kid, and by the and in the perspective of the show, he's like an old man. He's got white hair, right? He's
been on the run for like at least 30 years, and he even says at one point like, "Why do you think I'm here? Like, you think it was a coincidence I'm here now?" Something?
Right.
But
let me ask you guys this. So there's a conspiracy theory called Looking Glass, and the idea behind the conspiracy theory is that there's an advanced AI, and they call it like a machine looking glass. The government has it, and there's factions of the government. When one person looks at it, it shows a future. Basically, the looking glass shows a future of possibilities that are of what's going to happen. And depending on who you are, when you look at it, you'll see one possibility is like apocalyptic war, and the other possibility is like a utopia of some kind. And the conspiracy theory is that people are using this thing, and the people that want to go around the world and do all kinds of crazy stuff and kill people and all that have seen the apocalyptic future, and they're the people that are seeing the utopia are the white hats that want to do whatever. I don't know. It's a conspiracy theory. There's no thing to back it up, whatever. But my question to you guys is, AI is supposed to be this thing that can tell you whatever you want to know and can be used to create predictive models. We had if anybody hasn't seen it yet, Nadav Akhtar, our last interview, he talks about how they're working on AI that just takes in data as it is, and it gives you answers, predicts based on what's happening in real time. So my question is, would you trust
once it opens up to quantum? I think yes. And here's the thing: if we know anything about the government and the military and that level of like technology, they're like on a conservative note, they're like 25 years ahead. On like a more realistic note, because it's whatever, like probably 50 to 100 years ahead of us. And at the rate of technological growth now, it's not out of the realm of possibility that They have a super AI that runs on quantum that literally can not just predict like a bunch of different predictions, but understands the world on a level where it predicts the prediction every time.
Right.
And knows how to manipulate that to get the results it wants.
But should we listen to that? Do we trust that?
I don't think so.
I don't know.
That's Skynet, bro. That's Skynet. It's just already happened. Too late. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Because think about this. If you got a whole group, if you got a group of experts in a room and they discussed an idea and then they came to a conclusion, right? If an AI can multiply that process by a gajillion and come up with an answer, I mean, what's
these
the
experts? These experts here? Or other experts?
I mean, the AI is supposed to be an expert on shit. I ask it stuff all the time. It tells me what to do. And I go, okay, I'll do that. Or it gives me a couple possibilities. I asked it, how do I get mosquitoes out of this back porch I got here? Because we got mosquitoes, you know, and it gave me like 10 options. Here's all the things you can do. I told it, like, I'm in Jacksonville. I'm sure I shouldn't say that. Whatever. Ops, if you're coming for me, good luck.
Sky, bro, he didn't even fully move in yet. He already doxed himself. It's fucking
I got ops, man. Anyways. I already gave it up.
Yeah. And so
I'm just saying, like, I find now increasingly that I'm not going to Google at all, ever. I always go to AI now.
AI is going to go through all the results.
Right, right. But I mean,
also Google's AI is deceptive. I was just watching something. It might be on Netflix about AI. I might not be on Netflix. I don't know, but it was about how, like, when you Google search, like, it's getting that information from websites. So, like, when you know how when you Google search something, Google will, like, instead of giving you a URL, it gives you its own answer, and then it'll, like, point sources and stuff.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, when you Google something,
doing that, they give you all the sources and everything, and you can see how they're thinking as it's happening. When you do deep search or whatever, it'll, like, it's actually kind of cool. I like.
You know, Google's doing that with their search engine now, because, like, when you search Google, instead of, like, just URLs for you to search through, there's an answer.
Like AI synopsis.
Right. Right. Yeah. Okay. Right. Right.
Yeah. So, but it's also not correct all the time.
Right.
ChatGPT is way more accurate, bro.
Think so?
Yeah. ChatGPT is my favorite to use. Even when I'm using Perplexity, I most likely am using Chat.
Yeah, I mean, I use them for different reasons. I think now I find that ChatGPT's creative function is better than like creative brainstorming. I find it to be really good. But if it's anything political, I always put it through Grok. And if it's anything, and then Perplexity, I think is really good when you're
both. With politics, you got to do both, because, like,
Grok
is going to lean one way, Chat's going to lean the other, and then you got to kind of find your stance somewhere.
Well,
right?
And then
you got to hear.
Well, and then there's uncensored AI. Got to use that for the real fringe stuff. But I don't know. I'm just saying, like, I feel like AI, maybe not our generation, but our kids' generation, it's going to be the thing that they listen to. Like, it's like who's going to do research, real research anymore. You know what I'm saying? Except people are really, like,
you know, it's crazy that you say this, because it kind of ties into the last episode that we didn't talk about.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Let's talk about it.
Because
Bête Noire.
Yeah. So
episode 2.
Basically, it's the Mandela effect episode, right? And she basically has that supercomputer in her possession and accesses it through a necklace. I don't know if you want to give the synopsis.
Yeah, I'll give. So for anybody who hasn't seen episode 2, Maria, a confectionery researcher. In other words, she deals with tastes at a food factory and stuff like that, making candy bars and shit. A confectionery researcher experiences a shifting reality and questions her sanity after a high school acquaintance, Verity, joins her workplace, uncovering gaslighting and manipulation. That's kind of vague, because I guess they're trying to give away the goat. But basically, Verity, which I wonder if that's a word that actually means something. I'm curious. But Verity is her old, I wouldn't say friend.
It means green, isn't it? Verity?
Is it green? I know Vert is French for green, VERTE. Which is interesting. Green, I don't know. But yeah, so Verity was someone so the main character, there's they're doing a taste testing for her latest, confection that she's created. And one of the taste testers is this girl that she knew from high school that, according to her, they were not really particularly nice to her. They called her all kinds of names. She's kind of a weirdo nerd.
Verity means truth or true principle or belief, especially one of fundamental importance.
Ooh, I might name my, fifth illegitimate child that. Okay, cool. I'll keep that locked away in my AI knowledge bank. My Neuralink. Anyway, so Verity shows up, and all of a sudden, like, these Mandela effect things happen. So, Fresh, maybe you can explain what a Mandela effect is.
So basically, it's like everybody remembers it being one way, and then it's another way. Like, for example, people say that they seen the movie Shazam. Some people say the movie Shazam was never made. So in the episode, there's a chicken place. I believe it's called, well, actually, it's funny because I don't know if you know this, but this episode was made in different ways. Like they have two different versions of this episode, and not everybody got the same version. So some people's, so some people's Barneys turned into Bernies, and some people's Bernies turned into Barneys, right? So there's a chicken place that the boyfriend of the confectionery artist worked at, and it was called Barneys or Bernies, depending on your episode. And then later in the episode, Verity changes the truth to be the opposite of what you see in the beginning. Right. So basically it's like, but the difference between the show and a Mandela effect is when Verity changes it, everybody but you thinks it's changed. Right. So you're the only one who remembers it the other way.
Right.
So the way that I believe she said it works is that when she presses the button and she says something, the super AI computer finds like the closest multiverse that is like that is actually a possible like thing. Yeah. Right. Like, isn't that how it works?
Moved into it.
Yeah. You move into.
Right. So Verity, it turns out Verity, this girl that was, made fun of, and then there was some kind of, like, they made up a rumor that she was having an affair with her teacher or something, and that teacher gets fired. Now it's like her only friend. Like, a lot of terrible things happen to her, but she's a super genius, and she ends up creating a supercomputer in another lifetime or another world where, she has this little thing. It's literally a supercomputer, and then she can just say what she wants, or do, as long as you wear it and you command what you want. What happens is it shifts to a reality where that's the case. So it could be like this show is the three of us. In another universe, like, it might be three different people, right?
Or three of us, but we're all aliens.
Right.
Or we're all emperors. It's the Emperor Show podcast.
Right. Right.
And basically, like, the biggest lesson from this is that this woman has the ability to be and do anything. Yes. But her past and her trauma keeps her locked to these people so much so that, she gets herself killed, and she doesn't even really get to enjoy this. She seeks revenge, ends up getting herself killed, and doesn't get to enjoy the fruits of her labor. So the confectionery artist is the only one who actually gets to be the empress of the world. Right.
But
in the end, and that's
the universe.
The universe. Exactly.
Right. Yeah. I really did not predict that ending like that, and I thought it was awesome that they went there. They went all the way, and I think that was what was really compelling about the episode. It's just this idea of, like, you can have everything, but if you don't deal with, your traumas, it doesn't mean anything. That's kind of basically what she says.
And this is how mind fucked I was. This is what we were talking about in the beginning. How, like, even though I know it's a show about technology, the whole time we're like, yo, she's a witch. She's a witch. She's a witch. Not that she has some supercomputer. She's a witch. Yeah. And, like, because just the way she does it, like, it almost doesn't make sense that it's technology until you learn at the end.
Well, listen, they got Microsoft, I think it's called Morgana, the Morgana chip. Is that what it's called from Microsoft? they built a chip that they say is so powerful, this quantum chip, that it's finding answers in alternate realities, which it doesn't make any sense to me. But they're saying that it has to search on such a atomic cosmic level that it's hopping reality. So the idea that this is not feasible, I mean, I don't know. I mean, there's
doesn't that all kinds of weird shit. Simulation, my bro? Like you got to check other sims to see, because you need, like, bro.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, I don't know. I don't know the science behind it, so I can't say for sure. But that's what they're claiming. In some weird.
It is called the Majorana. Is it Majorana? Yeah, guess Majorana 1. Majorana. Majorana.
A-N. Yeah. A-N-A. Okay. Yeah, Majorana.
1.
I don't know. Not yet, man. Come on, man. Who's naming these fucking chips out here? We gotta get better names for. Just call it a quantum chip. Why you gotta give it a fancy name? I guess Microsoft's got a copyright or something. These are complicated names for these chips. Man, call it chip.
The quantum. I got silly with that one.
Oh man. Oh man.
Look at his red. What?
Oh, that's the name. Satya, come on, man. Microsoft, sponsor this show. We'll give you better names.
Bro, anybody, like, if you're looking for marketing, you're looking for any, bro, hit us up.
Yeah, naming conventions. Hit us up. You have ChatGPT. You couldn't have come up with a better name than Major.
There's always some kind
of
language.
I bet you it's in your language, bro. Figure out what it means.
Yeah,
Majiter is what. The Majiter chip. And that's maybe what he said. In
herb.
They didn't feel comfortable naming it that.
Which I recognize the name as an herb too. So it's an herb.
Oh, it's an herb. Oh, I see what's going on.
And a guy, a Torre, Majorana, an Italian physicist, predicted the existence of a single stable particle that could be both matter and antimatter. This particle is known as the Majorana fermion, or particle. So that's why it's named like that. And I wonder if they use that to power the chip.
Dude, absolutely. This is why they're digging
quantum
into
or
other
Majiter
realms, bro. They're using antiparticles. It's its own antiparticle creator.
Oh my gosh.
It
creates like a fourth thing, right? Fourth element or fifth element. Sorry. Not love.
I guess.
All right. It's not love.
Uh-oh.
Dang it, Deezy.
It wasn't me. Is this a trailer?
What?
No, it's just Black Mirror.
What are we doing? We're trying new things for you. We just cracked.
I'm just fucking
cracked
around,
the simulation.
Yeah, you just broke the sim, man. That's it. It's over.
Well, there is one additional bonus episode.
Shit. That's
of
right.
Black Mirror. I don't know if you guys watched it, but there is a seventh episode. It's called Cousin. And it deals with trauma as well. So,
oh my god.
No, it's not seventh episode of Black Mirror, but we thought we'd talk about it because it's. I don't even know how we talk about this because it's so bizarre. But hey, listen, it's real, some real shit. So, the one and only Mr. Ye, formerly known as Kanye West, he has an album coming out. I don't know what this album, World War III, WW3. That's what it's called. Written by the man David Bluntz. I don't know this guy that well. People make fun of his size, but apparently he's got skills.
Bro, I'll tell you, it's not. I don't make fun of his size. I hope bro gets some help, man. It's out of hand. Like, you know what I mean? He needs to, bro. Put the cup down, my bro. Put the cup down. That's the number one.
Listen,
because he is talented, especially if what they're saying is true and this isn't a publicity stunt, then he's even more talented than he seemed.
He's writing his Ye. Like he's ghostwriting
if that's
on
true,
World War III.
if that's
and
actually true,
Ye said it. He admitted it. Yeah.
That doesn't make it true. Come on.
I mean, I don't know if
doesn't make it true, but it gives it social proof and validation that he's not lying when he says it.
Right. I think Ye would be like, this is bullshit. It's not true if it wasn't, you know?
Yeah.
So I don't know.
If you couldn't capitalize from it, but it's also a really great headline.
Yeah. But why would Dave Blunt's just drop that if it wasn't true? You know what I'm saying? Like that's bold. If I was like, yo, I wrote Drake's new album and I didn't write it and I have a career that
unless Drake told you to say that.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know. You have the video, Deezy, right? Or I don't know. I don't know what you're looking at before. He seems like he's just saying it matter of factly, like enthusiastic.
We gotta watch the whole 3-minute video if we're gonna watch it.
Okay, we can do that.
We gotta let Dave say the whole thing.
Just to catch people up. So you know, Ye been saying all kinds of stuff. Every day it's a new thing. I don't know if anybody's got fatigue yet. I find it fascinating, but basically he tweets out a song that I think David wrote, and Ye basically says, well, let's see. Okay, let's see what David says.
So this is him like previewing a song on his album, and he's at the end of this preview.
So we got to turn the thing off at the bottom.
No, you're good.
Don't leave this day, babe. Leave the world behind.
It sounds like him too, though, so I would make sense that he did have no.
Yeah, we'll go. We are gonna go back, but I don't think we should play it 3 minutes straight, because I just don't think that's good for copyright issues on YouTube. But
right.
You know what I mean? But yeah. So, but do you think that sounds like Kanye, or do you think that sounds like Blunt's?
I feel like, well, it's Kanye, but I feel like it's written like in Dave Blunt style. Like if you've listened to his music,
that's what I'm saying. Do you think it sounds like Kanye?
It's Kanye's voice.
No, I know that, but do you think it sounds like Kanye?
Like Kanye's always been a chameleon of style.
Yeah,
no, kind of. There is a
he's
a Kanye style,
though he is. Like I'm not saying
Kanye's style was sorry. Kanye's style to me was always like he was never like other than like a couple of songs where he would, you know, maybe his early stuff and like some stuff on Pablo, but a lot of it is like hooks. Like every line is a hook. Like every line is something catchy and fairly simple usually, and not like overly wordy or overly overdone. So it feels like, I guess that feels like Kanye to me, but you know what I'm saying? I don't know.
But I mean, it's the singing style, the vocal styles, even the music in the background is very like Dave Blunt's. I've been listening to
that's what I feel about it way more.
Yeah.
I don't even feel like even his voice is imitating Dave.
Yeah.
Let's see.
That shit. I mean, everybody seems to think that World War III is like an anti-Semitic album or some shit. It's not. It's an album about.
The album's called Cuck, not World War III.
One man who has gone through betrayal and hurt and pain, and he's putting that shit down. It's not an anti-Semitic album. It's a album about a man who has gone through a lot of pain and a lot of trouble. And I know it's not an anti-Semitic album, nigga, because I wrote that shit. Me. Every song on that bitch. That shit's coming soon. I can't wait for y'all to hear that shit.
He's funny as fuck, bro. I really wish he put the.
It's been crazy ass journey making this album. I'm not gonna lie to you. A lot of sleepless nights, a lot of hard work, but I can't wait for y'all to hear that shit. Shit, crazy. Damn that. I know my label about to be mad as hell that I just said that I wrote that shit. But whatever.
Yeah, they are.
They coming, man.
Yeah. When is it dropping? I don't know. I have no fucking idea. It's coming soon. I know it's coming soon. I know that it will drop, but I don't know when it is. Yeah. That shit hard. To play something else. Let me see. Is there anything else off of World War III that I can play?
I don't think he can. I don't think he plays anything else. I think that he stops it pretty when that's 10-15 seconds. But
okay,
yeah. So that's he says. He says it's not anti-Semitic because he wrote it.
I don't know about that. I mean, yeah, on a stream out in Spain, going to like some Spanish festival where you get to kill Jewish people. I don't know that. I don't know. I don't know what's performance art with EA and what isn't. So the reason we're talking about him though is that he drops a song called Cousin. You just heard a little bit of snippet of it. The main story is it's about him as a kid discovering, I guess, his mother's, gay Playboys or whatever, gay magazines or whatever with sexual content, and then he says on his tweet, that he was doing that stuff with his cousin who was younger than him. So he was 14 years old, and then, and he dropped, and the song's about that, the whole song's about that. And it talks about just that scenario. So there's so many levels to this. The first thing is that I feel like if this is a stunt, I mean, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Again, it takes a lot. It would take a lot for me he would have to be a straight up. I don't know, man. I mean, it's weird. It's like, well, what is the, if this is true, okay, if it's a stunt, it's like, bro, come on. Like we're getting in territory here that is and Owen Benjamin talks about this. It does sort of like normalize this. Actually, I want to zoom out a little bit. Sorry, I know I'm jumping all over the place. This trauma thing, okay, like trauma, society, and trauma. I think I'm fucking over it, man. Really, I'm getting sick of this shit. Like it's like everybody's got fucking trauma from all kinds of shit.
But everybody does have trauma, right? But like, so okay, so this is my problem. Is like, I think for your close people, your trauma is my trauma. Like, you know what I mean? You're my inner circle. I will help you work through this trauma, right? I don't think that the world as a whole owes you shit because you've got trauma. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, because how do we make sense of that? Everybody's got fucking trauma. But again, like, this goes kind of back to what we were speaking about in like the free market and all this stuff is like, you get back to community, you get back to caring about each other as close knit. And like, then you don't have these same problems because that's who's supposed to care about your trauma. You know what I mean? Like, it's not that nobody should give a fuck that you have trauma, just like not on a like, you know what I mean? Like, not on a grand scale.
I have a couple of, and I might regret saying this later. So, I just think like, it's like, I think you function better in the world if you assume that nobody gives a fuck about your trauma and you take accountability for it, you take responsibility for it, and then you work on it. Like, and then if you work on it in whatever way you need to, some people go to 12-step programs and it works for them. I've seen it happen. Some people get religious and that helps them. Some people get a family and that helps them work through some trauma. Some people just, they read a lot and they really self-examine and they start to figure out things, but what I am resenting, I guess, is this idea of like, I have trauma, so the rest of the world has to fucking accommodate me. It's like, I'm sorry. Like, I don't know, maybe I'm an asshole, but it's like, no, that's not how the world fucking works. You think people in World War I coming back from the front line, getting fucking gas poisoned and shell shock? You know what I'm saying? Like, those guys had trauma. Like, that's fucking trauma.
And they're fucking homeless right now, my bro.
Sure,
Bro.
and nobody gets a
or yeah,
nobody
like
cares
all these vets are, and it's perpetual. You know what I'm saying? It's
I mean, for some, the Bible helps. I mean, what?
Right. It's perpetual though, right? Like it keeps
happening. I'm talking about trauma.
Oh yeah, the Bible's got plenty.
You want to talk about fucking trauma?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. It's like you're not getting. I mean, you're not getting nailed to a literal cross. You have to use a metaphor to describe your trauma as being nailed to a cross. I don't know. It's one of these things where I'm like, okay, fine. Like everybody's got fucking problems, and I agree with you, Fresh. Like, okay, but my hearing, I'll even go this far. My hearing out your trauma is me being like a nice. That's generosity on my behalf as a person because I care about you. Right.
Yes, and this is something that if we're close. Yes, if we're close, we will both likely extend these courtesies to each other. But I agree, it is also not obligated. Like this is where like you have an obligation to your family unit. You know what I'm saying? The family unit that you
sure
is where your obligation lays.
Sure.
Outside of that, everything else is a courtesy. One that again I will extend to certain people, and I would hope they would also extend it to me. But I don't think
I'll tell you this much. Even in the family, like listen, I mean maybe it's just the way I was raised, but like my parents were like, if there was something wrong, unless it was really like something that was causing repercussions that were dangerous for other people or for myself, which I never really had. You know, there are people that I know family wise, but it's like, I don't know, man. I was just, it was always one of those things where it's not that you can do everything alone. I'm not saying that, but I'm just saying like there's an appropriate time and place and methods to deal with this stuff.
Your parents, right? Their way to deal with that is together. Like they have that onus to each other, and to some extent you guys, because you're their children. However, a lot of times they're the ones who are causing this trauma, right? So like they, as much as they may have the onus to like accept and deal with the trauma, like you are going to be the one who grows up to deal with the trauma and with you and your family that you create, right? Like that's how that's who owes you the thing, is the person who chooses to be your other half. They owe you whatever trauma you come with. We're going to try to work that through or accept you with it, whatever the fucking, you know what I mean?
Right.
But other than that, again, it's a courtesy. And like my mom is saying, like as an adult, like you have to be responsible for your own trauma, right? It's not that like you won't get heard out. It's not that you won't get helped. It's not that you won't have courtesies extended to you, but like your trauma is yours to work through, and nobody, no matter how much they want to, can help you work through that. So this is where, again, if we can't do it for you, we can't get rid of your trauma. Only you can do the work, and maybe you can't even get rid of it.
That's what I mean.
Then how is it the onus of the people? You know what I'm trying to say? Like,
right.
Where everybody's got to bend to it.
Right. That's what I'm saying. It's the idea of like everybody else has to bend to your, you know, whatever stuff's going on. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, look, if I'm your friend or I care about you, or you know, like, hey, coworker, whatever. I mean, I'm just saying like I had courtesy. You know, at one point in my life, I got really sick when I first started a job, and they were gracious enough and did me the courtesy of allowing me to take a month off when I first started the job to get.
But it's a courtesy.
Better. That's a courtesy.
It's not an obligation.
They did not have to do that. And my thing is that if they didn't do that, I wouldn't sit there and be like, oh, well, you're a jerk and you owe me. I'd be like, that's fucking life. It sucks. You know, I wish you would do that, but I'm not going to sit here and wait around and whine about it. It's like, okay, I'm going to go. Just got to figure it out. I don't know. That was one of those things like
the world has to world. You know what I'm trying to say? Like the world has to get on. It has to do things and function. And like if we bend to like we're saying, everybody's got a trauma, and nobody can help you work. Like nobody can work through it for you. People can help people, whatever, but nobody can do it for you. Then how do we manipulate the fucking system to accommodate all these traumas? You just can't do it. Eventually, it collapses. Right.
You have to do. All I'm saying is that responsibility and accountability. Trauma does not usurp responsibility and accountability. It doesn't, you know, but that's what I'm seeing a lot in the culture. I'm seeing a lot of like, oh, I have this trauma or I had this bad thing happen to me, and because of that, I get to behave like an asshole, you know?
Yeah,
or people make excuses
then it's normalize this.
Yeah, or they make excuses for bad behavior because of trauma. I'm like, no, you don't get to behave poorly because you have trauma. I'm sorry. That's not like people are individuals. We each have our lives. You don't have a right to, you know, harm my person or steal my shit or destroy property or whatever because you have some kind of trauma. You know, like that's something that you're going to have to figure out and deal with. And if you get punished for this, for doing something based on your trauma, I'm sorry, you still did the act. You still have to face the consequences of what you did. You don't get
the Menendez brothers conundrum, right?
Right, right.
I agree there's trauma. However, it wasn't in the act, so you don't just get off, bro.
I mean, how many people have trauma and they don't murder their parents?
Right.
What is
the standard we're setting here? Yes, bro. And what constitute, like, I understand what they're claiming happened to them. If that happened to them is egregious.
Sure. Yeah.
But like, what's the standard? At what level do people get to just off their parents because it's traumatic?
Right. Right.
You know what I'm trying to say? Like,
yeah. Yeah. I mean, and look, I mean, I have empathy for that. I don't want to feel like people to feel like I don't have empathy, but like, it's one of those where I'm just like, but that's what kills the empathy for me is when I start seeing like, okay, now we're going to make excuses for people behaving poorly and making bad decisions and causing even more trauma for people.
And then still expecting empathy.
It's like,
bro, what do you mean? You're the maker of your own world, bro. You are the designer, the writer, the actor in all this. You know what I mean? And then you want me to have empathy. Like, it's a little different, right? Again, I think that it's where I don't know, like it's blurred lines, I guess, right? But again, it comes down to the simple fact of it. Like, only you can deal with your trauma, bro. Like, even if people help you, you are still the one who has to make that like introspective breakthrough that tells you like, okay, I'm okay with this trauma or whatever the fucking case is. You know what I mean? Right. Only you can do that. So
and psychedelics are really helpful.
I mean, hey, listen, there are options that are not, you know, whatever, like psychedelics really is one. I mean, people say they take ibogaine or they take you know, they take
psilocybin.
Yeah,
a little bit of mushrooms or
consult your doctor. But they take
or talking to people. Like, this is the other thing, right? Is like, say if you don't have a community or you don't have people, like, there are options for you and there are people that you can talk to. Like, you should talk to people because you don't always have the best introspective moments without bouncing things off people, right? Like, sometimes you might think you have a great idea and then you say it to somebody that you trust and they're like, bro, no, you don't have three heads. Like, what the fuck are you talking? You know what I mean? Like,
so let me ask you this question, because kind of bringing it back to Ye though, because there's been some, you know, two different sides of this thing. So basically, I don't know if we said it, but like he wrote a song called Cousins. He admits to, you know, basically molesting his cousin when he was, when they were both kids, you know.
Well, who was older?
He was older.
Oh,
and he was doing it to his cousin, and they were imitating what he found in, you know, dirty magazines, stuff like that. And there's something to be said for like, hey, these are, and that's a bigger story with, you know, access to pornography and stuff like that for kids, which is like crazy. That's one of the things I lose sleep over. Like, if I'm gonna have kids, I'm like, fuck, like, you can go on the internet and find fucking anything.
Why make, like, this is the thing, is like, porn and shit is only bad if you allow it to be bad, right?
Right. Well,
like, the naked body shouldn't be weird. If the naked body is weird and the naked body is like coveted, then the kid's gonna go be like,
I would say the stuff there's stuff on the internet. It's not just like, you know, naked bodies in a museum, obviously.
Yeah, sure, you know, but like, bro, at what point is that your responsibility as a father to be like, no,
it is.
You use the internet for schoolwork while we're with you. Like, you know what I'm trying to say? Like, you set the parameters for how your child uses the internet. Like, if your kid is 6 and on X looking at like big titty goth bitches, that's your fault. That's your fault.
What if mom is on OnlyFans? What am I going to do then? Damn.
Hey, I caught.
Don't go on OnlyFans.
I'm out.
10% apparently 10% of young ladies are on OnlyFans, or have an account.
That's sad, bro. That hurts my heart, man.
I think about the show sometimes. Like, what if my kid watches the show? Like, we say some wild shit on here.
Yeah, but I don't think.
But then again, I saw RoboCop when I was like 8. That was.
We don't even hit South Park levels, man. Just being honest, bro.
Right.
The average South Park episode has done more things, or Family Guy episode has overshot what we've done in our whole of recording everything.
Bro, I used to watch Adult Swim when I was a kid, bro. And Robot Chicken.
Bro, what about that guy that got paralyzed? Do you know which one I'm talking about? The guy that got drunk and he got paralyzed. I can't remember what the fuck the show was called, but it was an Adult Swim show, and I remember the song. It's like, I used to hit the nightlife and hang out in a bar. I used to hit the bottle, and then I hit a car, and then the guy's paralyzed, and he's got like a wife with these big fake tits, and like, bro, you used to stay up to watch these things when everybo's sleeping at night, bro, when you're a kid. But like, it's part of growing up. Like,
I guess it is. I mean, yeah, I mean, you know, I saw a titty when I was like young, you know what I'm saying? So I don't know. But nowadays it's like hardcore now. It's like BDSM weirdo fucking crazy shit. Like,
Jesus Christ.
I don't know.
That's a crazy statement.
I mean, not that BDSM is, I shouldn't say it's weird.
Again, this is on you though, as a father. Your kid shouldn't be on fucking.
Look, if you like getting hit and smacked around by Shannon Sharpe,
why is your kid on Instagram and TikTok? Like, you know what I mean? No, didn't you say no grape soda fantasies, bro?
No grape soda fantasies. Shannon learning the hard way. No grape soda. God. Can't do it. Can't do it no more.
So only broke people. That's what they say.
Can't do it.
Only broke people, because you got nothing to lose. They ain't taking shit from you.
Either that, or you pull out that iPhone camera and you go,
gotta sign
yo,
contract.
read this. Here's the contract. Sign it.
Yeah.
All that shit. No more grape sodaing. I know these older guys are on that TRT, fucking getting raging crazy. They gotta let it out somehow.
So you want to choke your? Oh my god!
So now you're blaming that on fucking testosterone? No, bro. Be a fucking.
This guy's making a case for toxic masculinity here, bro.
Hey, I mean,
control yourself.
That part of being toxically masculine.
No, there's no such thing. You can be toxic.
Some people like rough stuff. I mean, let's just be real. A lot of ladies like rough stuff because we live in
but like
a time where there's not rough dudes.
You can't do that now. Too bad. So sad. Feminism is what this got you. No more smacks on the ass and pulling hair and choking. It's vanilla from here on out because of feminism.
Get married, bro, and then maybe you'll have hopefully some lesser problems.
Then you can choke.
Yeah, I guess. Then you can what?
I plead the fifth.
Then you can spank and choke. And
are you sure?
I don't know what the legal. Listen, there's no grape soda of any kind.
Half your assets way faster.
No grape soda. Put the white sheet over. Pray to Jesus.
The white sheet.
Dip a little in and out, and have 10 children.
My! Who does that again?
I think certain sects.
The Mormons. The Mormons do. It's called
right?
soaking.
I don't know if the Mormons really do that.
Soaking, right? I think that's what it's called.
Oh, really?
Yeah, dude. That's a legitimate term, bro. That's like that's how they don't have intercourse.
Isn't it funny how the feminists complain about the Handmaid's Tale and all that stuff, when the thing that's going to get you the Handmaid's Tale is all this shit? I mean, am I wrong? I'm just saying.
What are you talking about, bro?
They're gonna make it so like Shannon Sharpe is fired because of some claims.
He resigned.
He stepped away. He stepped away. God damn it.
I apologize, Shannon. He stepped away temporarily to fight these claims, and the claims are that he saying he want to choke a bitch, basically, and she's saying that he really did that shit, and I don't know. Who knows? He says it's all consensual BDSM play. And now
bro, there's text messages of her requesting it.
Is there?
Like there are text messages.
But she has trauma, bro. She has trauma. It's her trauma.
So whose responsibility is it? If you have the trauma, do you request that?
He should have known, though. Should have known about her trauma.
I'm gonna traumatize you.